All right, I got a head nod, which I think means that the show has begun. Usually I get a thumbs up. I got 2 thumbs up, means that the show has begun, and the show is Asheville 8 note, Asheville 8 parentheses PM, end parentheses note, or should it be called Asheville 812 note, you know. But it's not. It's called Asheville 8 note, and I am Sam Irvin. This is the show where I have on different local Asheville musicians to chat for an hour and jam for an hour. They come on the show and they wait patiently as I do this opening spiel talking about why I do the show. The 3 reasons that I enumerate every week are thus. I do it to build community and meet new people or catch up with old friends. Tonight, it's a new person. Izzi Hughes is on. Great singer, strummer, radio personality, booking agent, production, intelligentsia. And some more titles I'm sure we'll discover throughout our conversation, which is forthcoming. And then after we talk, we will play some music together. 2 guitars in 1 room. Can you believe it? And so what else? Reason number 2, I do this to have fun and joke around and make music like a fun thing. You know, I am doing music full time, so sometimes it feels like a grind, although it's very rewarding, and in a myriad of ways. But this is a time to carve out in my life weekly to get creative and, just play music for music's sake. And then reason number 3, I do this to practice all the AV equipment in here and practice mixing different kinds of musicians and ensembles. I put those mixes up after the fact on YouTube, so check out Irvin Music Studio's YouTube page for some polished shows. This live version is going to sound pretty good too, but I think there's a higher quality once I put them back up there. So while you're checking out that YouTube, you could, if you felt so inclined, hit that subscribe button or a like, or just let the playlist ride, while you go to work or while you sleep or while you watch it. Even better. That would be great. You could experience me and my wonderful guests. And you could also support us by checking out the Irvin Music Studio Patreon that I made to accompany this show that I haven't really been pushing super hard, but I would really appreciate anybody looking at that. Yes, in the tradition of the show, having to do with my practicing my AV setup, I'm going to check and make sure that everybody can hear me right now. Oh, thank goodness, because I'd already said so much, and if it was muted, I wouldn't have known how to repeat all of that without being really awkward. I'm pretty sure that if you want to see me try, you could go back and watch the Boat Command episode again. From a couple of weeks ago. I did just upload that to YouTube, and I think the mix is pretty tasty on that. The bass player, just ran into him at the Hell Crab show last night. That was a pretty cool jazz octet, I think. And the bass player said he loved the mix. I did make the bass pretty loud, so I could see why he liked it. So those are the reasons I do the show. If you're watching the show and you want to let us know that you're watching the show, you can comment. And in theory, I should see it, but I'm not sure if they always come through. But Restream assures me that if you're commenting, we can say like, oh, hey, I don't know who you are, but like, thanks for being either nice or mean. Well, thank you either way, probably. Showbiz. Showbiz, yeah. Exactly. And so, you know what? I think without further, now that you've said showbiz and you've, let me know that you're ready to go, let's have you on. Izzi Hughes is going to join me after she plays the guest intro music by clicking the little circular button after clicking guest intro music on the, okay, getting thumbs up again. I'm loving all the thumbs up on this show. It's sort of a motif of the show. And so is the obstacle course making your way up here. Hello, yes. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You are maybe the first native of WNC native that I've had on the show.
Which is kind of crazy, but also makes sense because it seems like this area is growing all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And you moved away for a bit to go to college in Nashville, right?
I did.
Belmont
University. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I like most high schoolers who grew up in a small town, just wanted to get out and get into like live in a city for a little while, and quickly realized I don't like living in a city.
What about it was like overwhelming or
Traffic.
disgusting? Okay.
The
Traffic
traffic
is disgusting.
stressed me out all the time. I think, Nashville is a, well, I say this, there's an insane amount of people who are moving there every day, so clearly people love it there. But my feeling was that it was an amazing place to visit and go on vacation to. I did not love living there. Didn't love the heat. Didn't love the. I don't know. It wasn't home, and I missed home. So I guess I don't know that it really would have mattered. I just really wanted to come back to the mountains.
Gotcha. I didn't even think about the heat because I guess it's down the mountain a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's hotter there because everybody's going to kind of complain about how hot this summer is, and I'll complain about it next summer. But this summer, I'm like, this is amazing because this is now I'm back, and it's not like in the low 100s every day, and so that's a nice change of pace.
Yikes! Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no.
Does that affect your ability to perform? Were you performing out there very much, or?
Yeah. I was performing. I had a hotel gig that was fairly steady that I did out there. It's hard to get paid out there. You would think Nashville, it would be, with it being Music City, you would be like able to, and you can play at the CVS if you want to. Everywhere's hiring for music, but nobody is paying. Or you have to pay to play. So you have to actually literally pay money in order to perform at a bar or whatever. And I just, that was too hard on a broke college student. So I didn't perform as much out there. The heat definitely, when I was younger, I really loved the heat. I've noticed in the last few years, I've switched and I've become a very hot-natured person. So I do not like the summer months performing outside as much. It's harder on me.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah. I go and do the classical guitar thing at weddings and I'm in all black.
Oh,
and usually it's like a long sleeve shirt and I'm just like, and
no.
then I don't think I have to do that. I need to put like on my questionnaire, like, do you care if I wear all black or not?
Right. Right.
Just ask people overtly.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Or just be like,
I'm
from
dying.
the months of June through August, I refuse to. So you just
That's
have to get right with the fact. Just get right with it, or hire me in January.
Yeah.
Then I'll wear all black.
Or it's the worst when it rains and then it's all wet and then the like humidity. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Let me have you talk right into this mic.
Okay.
Maybe a little. We can look at each other, but we can.
All right. Where am I? Which one am I looking at? Is this one? Is it kind of all of them?
It's gonna cycle through.
Okay, awesome.
Every
Awesome.
15 seconds. No, wait. I think I set this one up for the interview to go back. So it's this one often.
Okay.
And then I'll go to that one, and then back to this one, and then that one, and then back to this one. And then,
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All the angles.
Yeah, but I'm pretty bad. I don't think I talk to my audience very much. I'm like, it's a conversation between us. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you
That
guys
they're just
aren't there
privy to.
right now. Like they aren't. You'll be there after the fact when I'm listening back to this. But right now, it's just emptiness. Yeah.
We really have to feel the applause that I'm sure
Right.
is out there for us.
Right.
They're definitely applauding and laughing
Yes.
a lot.
I hope so. That's my boss at the radio station. He always says, talk as if you're talking to one person when you talk on the radio, not like the masses.
That's
because
right.
it helps you to feel more like you're in a conversation and not just kind of talking out into the abyss. So that's helped me a lot.
You're absolutely right. What I should have said is I'm sure you out there are cracking up and
Yes.
applauding quite
Yes.
a bit. You
Hopefully.
you person. Yes, so you work in radio.
I do.
Tell me about that.
I
We
mean,
already talked a lot off mic. So
Yes.
you can feel free to repeat yourself or tell me something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm newly working to radio. I actually just started at WTZQ in Hendersonville.
How new?
It is February was my first. I started in February,
Okay.
so
It's
about
not so new.
6 months I've been working for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I didn't mean to
No,
downplay it. I
no.
meant like it's not
No, no,
yesterday.
no.
You've got some
Yeah, no,
experience.
yeah,
I was trying to boost you up.
Today was my first day. No, yeah, but it feels new, kind of, I guess, in comparison to performing, which I've been doing for much longer. But this is kind of a new venture for me. and it's, oh yeah, hydration.
It's really important.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, so I host or co-host a show on Fridays at 5 and Saturdays at noon called Local Artist Showcase on WTZQ. And it's aired on Fridays at 5. It re-airs Saturdays at noon, and you can also stream it at WTZQ.com. And it is kind of similar to the show. We try to my co-host Steve DeRose is also a local musician. He is part of the trio. It used to be a duo called The Gathering Dark, and we both have local musicians on, and we'll interview them. Or we also every single show play as much local musicians' music as we possibly can get in. People will send us music. And we usually focus on people who have shows that weekend, or people who have music releases that just happened or that are coming up. We try to showcase their music, and with the purpose of, there's a lot of people who listen to WTCQ just, have it on in their car, who aren't necessarily people who know that there is such a thriving music scene in Western North Carolina. So really, Steve and I's big focus with that show is, of course, we love it when musicians are listening to the show, or people who are involved in the music community listen to that show, but it's also a way for us to inform the public about this thriving music community that is in Western North Carolina and this kind of growing market that we have here.
It's gigantic. Yeah.
It is.
At AVL Fest is this weekend, and the lineup for that is extensive. It's like everybody and their brother is on the bill. Nashville, of course, is Music City, and people are flocking there and playing CVS's for paying to people to play.
Paying to play at CVS. Yeah.
Asheville is quite, healthy in the musician market, though.
It is, and I think it's really interesting coming back to what's considered a smaller market, even though it's growing really quickly. And I really hope that Asheville and Western North Carolina stays the way that it is, and just that it's very community focused. Whereas Nashville, there are absolutely very supportive musicians out there, but there's also a lot of competition, I'd say, especially among my age group, just because it's people who are just breaking into the industry. So it's a lot of kind of either fake friendships sometimes, or just people who are just, they would do anything to, try to make it big. Whereas I don't see that here ever. I feel like the musicians that come into it with that mindset don't tend to last very long. It's the people who are really, everybody here is very supportive, I have found. And
there's almost a currency of consciousness in Asheville of like, how moralistic and caring can you be?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And even the venues, I have found that a lot of the venues that I've worked with have all been, they're great to their musicians. They pay, which for me, it's kind of a debated thing, but for me, that's a form of respect in and of itself. Just knowing that art it's just like a restaurant or whatever. That is somebody's life work, and it should be valued as such. So
completely agree.
Yeah. So I just feel,
not that we want to commodify art.
No.
It's a fine line. Paradox almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that everywhere was like Western North Carolina when I moved to Nashville. I thought that was just kind of how, everybody kind of got that experience. And so I think that was maybe the biggest eye-opening thing for me, was when I went to Nashville and I was like, oh, not everybody had this experience that I had. So it made me appreciate it more. And ultimately why I came back.
It's a special place.
Yeah.
I think you made the right decision. Yeah.
I think so too.
And you're finding gigs, and you've got a bunch coming up. I'm always surfing for guests, but I was excited to find your website where you had a bunch of gigs listed, and the radio stuff, and that you're booking bands as well.
Yeah, so
or musicians, tell me about either the gigs that you're finding or the booking. I'm asking multiple questions.
Yeah, we'll start with the music side of it. Because that's what I've been doing the longest. I've been an entertainer in some capacity since I was 8. I started at the Flower Playhouses and a couple other main stage productions over there, and then I really started getting into music, at one point my mom was like, you can either really go down the acting musical theater path, or you can really focus on the music path, or you can kind of do both, but we can't put the same amount of energy. You're going to be kind of just okay at both, really, was kind of what it came down to. And I really decided I wanted to focus on music. So I started at Jim Beaver School of Music with a rock band program, and that was my first sort of beginning to performing out live. And they just put all these kids together and let them go and kind of perform out in the community. And so I realized very quickly that I loved doing that. But
was there a teacher in particular that was like heading up your program?
It was Jim Beaver himself. So the owner of Jim Beaver Studios,
cool.
He was very hands-on in that rock band program. That was kind of his baby. So and he was a huge influence to me and my guitar teacher for many years. And I took a lot of private lessons at his studio, and I spent a lot of time there growing up. So, and but all of the guys who were in the band with me, they were all in high school, and I was 12 when we started. So eventually they all went off to college. And so I was still here, and about the time I was 14 or 15, I was like, well, now I can either, and the rock band program at that point was kind of starting to, it wasn't staying as, I don't want to say falling apart. That sounds negative. It was kind of starting to break up, and they eventually kind of stopped the program. But that's when I started to really kind of decide I was going to start doing this professionally. So that was about 8 years ago. And at that time, there were not nearly the amount of vineyards and breweries in Hendersonville. There were a ton in Asheville, but not as many in Hendersonville.
Even this year, Hendersonville's blowing up. All my friends are like, I'm in Hendersonville tonight to like Akla Wahala. I don't know why I went for that one first.
No. It makes sense though. That is one of the big ones. And
second act.
Yep.
All the vineyards, the many vineyards,
many breweries, many restaurants. But at the time that I was doing it, it's just so funny how much can change in 8 years. But there were maybe 6 or 7 venues that in Hendersonville area, that really had music kind of full time. And
do you think, so I'm from Brevard, do you think Hendersonville is that much bigger than Brevard? Because I feel like Brevard still only has like 3 venues. It's like,
I don't know,
185 and a couple others.
It may also be, is Brevard Henderson County, or is it a different county?
Transylvania County.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if it's, maybe when I say Hendersonville, sometimes I'm also looping like Mills River and Fletcher into that as well. So I sometimes kind of think of Hendersonville as like Henderson County. I honestly don't know. I don't know if
let's look it up. What are the populations? All right.
Yeah.
Whose town wins?
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like there has been such a boom in venues. And
all right,
what do we have? Yeah,
that was good filling time though. That was good filling space. Hendersonville is 15,000 and Brevard's only 7,755.
Okay.
Yeah, so like half as big. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always thought they were at the same level.
About the same, yeah.
You're from a big town compared to.
Well, there you go. I'm from the very urban area.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I just think I started out. Well, actually, the funny thing is, I was only 14, so a lot of these bars and stuff, my dad had to drive me to actually go and see them, because I would try to email and call, but it was just a lot of people were like, okay, she's 14. We're just gonna not answer. So I had to actually go and knock on doors and physically introduce myself and kind of try to prove myself. And a couple of venues gave me a shot, and then kind of the last 8 years have been history with that. So I'm very fortunate that it's just kind of snowballed into what it is now. And I really, it's just amazing how many venues have come to this area and how many places there are for live music.
Yeah. And that's a lot of experience. I mean, you seem pretty comfortable during the sound check and everything. Your website, boasts your youthfulness, but your musical maturity. I like that that's your angle, but it's almost like, I don't know. Why did you go for that angle?
Well, because my mom wrote it.
Okay.
To be totally honest with you, I am very fortunate that I'm probably in the minority in that my parents have from the start been my biggest supporters in my music career, and I recognize that that's not something that every musician gets to say, but my mom was really instrumental in the background stuff, so she really helped me. The website has been rebuilt since the original one, but a lot of the verbiage I kept because I loved how she wrote it, and I probably need to at some point change the youthfulness, because that was again when I was 14 that was written, so there was
That's
a little
what I
bit
was
more
curious
of a
about.
there was a bit more of a I don't know, it was a little different. It's different now that I'm in my early 20s, but
No, you got me thinking. I mean, some of the classical guitarists around here are pretty old, so maybe I should spice mine up
there
with
you
some.
go.
Do
Yeah.
you want some youthful
Yes, put in
energy?
some youthful. Yeah, absolutely.
A young glow to your Bach.
There you go. I had this little kid the other day, this little girl. She came up and she was like, "Will you play, this song, this song?" And I didn't recognize any of them, and I was like, "No, but I know a song you'll know." And I played one of like Taylor Swift's oldest, like kind of a song on her first or second album. She's like, "I don't know that song." I was like, "Is this what it feels like?
Taylor Swift
This is
is
what it feels
fading.
like to be." This is my first like old person moment, and I'm only 23, so that's truly upsetting for me. But
Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Slash, maybe this kid just didn't have very good taste. in
maybe
music.
not.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you
never
not know "Love Story" by Taylor Swift? But
That's a good one.
it is a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got that one's on my list for sure.
Yeah.
But I just had somebody specifically request not to. It was like the only thing that they requested not to play. It was Taylor Swift in general.
Oh,
Yeah.
they
was-
thought they were
was
like
harsh.
concerned that you might just like whip out some Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yeah. I always on my questionnaire, have a space.
Oh, I
of, like,
understand. For like a
what do you
got
not
it.
want to
Okay,
be
got
played?
it. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought somebody came up to you like at a brewery or something.
Face to
It was
face,
just
like, do
just
not
like
play
do
Taylor
not play.
That would be great.
Like
Yeah.
instead of like they put a 20 in just for you not to play, not to play.
I would
a song.
take it, and
I
I
would too.
not play Taylor Swift.
I would too. Yeah.
I have you gotten heckled or like somebody like yeah, I played like some classical guitar at like a what was it? A rehearsal dinner, like a welcoming party, but I was playing very elegant prompt stuff, and some very drunk uncle yelled at me all night to play happier music.
Oh
I was
no.
like, this is happy.
This
Yeah.
that's so unfortunate. No,
Yeah, it's tough.
I had somebody recent. I'm trying to think of what stories I can tell. Tell on the air.
Which ones you didn't like fight
Right.
back and
Right.
beat somebody up?
Which ones weren't going to get me sued? I recently I was at a venue that was, I don't want to name which one it was, but it was a nicer venue, one that I went to thinking I was safe from being heckled. It was a
You're never
nicer
safe.
place. Yeah, never safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy came in, and I don't know what his deal was, but he was on something. I think it was more than alcohol involved. It was bad. And he came up to me and he was like, "Will you play We Are Young?" I was like, I don't have that song in my repertoire. I'm so sorry. And for the next 3 minutes that he was awake, he said he was very on We Are Young. He wanted that song
Well,
so
you know
bad.
what? I'm sort of on his side.
Yeah.
No. It's a good song.
Oh man, my mom said the same thing. I'm not as big of a fan of that song, but now I kind of feel like I have to learn it because of this situation. I can tell the story every
Yeah,
time when I
right.
play it. When I go play it.
That's good banter for sure.
There you go. Yeah.
It's harmless enough. He fell asleep. Nobody was harmed.
Well, yeah. I mean, he
in a way.
fell asleep kind of violently and fell, and he had to be
Okay.
removed. It was
That is harmful.
it was a whole thing. There was
That's bad.
he fell on someone. It was
Oh no.
yeah. It
I
wasn't
thought
good.
I've had some bad nights.
No, this was unfortunate.
That's a bad night.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said I was a fan of that song either. That's not my vibe. But whenever I hear the title of that song, that's
Right.
anthemic. It gets me up. Like
Yeah.
I'm elevated just thinking
Hey,
about
absolutely. Yeah. He actually my original thing, what I said to him was, I don't know that song, which what I meant by that was, I do know the song, I just don't play the song.
Yeah.
But he thought I meant I don't know the song. So then he started awkwardly singing it to me.
Like,
and
do
just
you
kind
know
of didn't
this?
know. He was like,
Yeah.
we are young, but not that it was not that not that pretty. It was just he just started going through the
That
song.
was very pretty.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
I just kind of started playing the next song because I didn't really know what to do, and he was just standing there still kind of singing it to me, and then he kind of just awkwardly walked away and sat on his stool and then had his incident later. But
Yeah, it's wild when people come up when you're playing and try to talk to you and have a
oh
conversation.
man, that is
It's impossible.
I don't understand, and it happens so often, and I do not get.
If you're the person that does that, don't
do that.
Nobody wants that.
No, you can come up and chat briefly between songs. That I have no problem with. But yeah, it's the people who come up and have a full conversation with you when you're singing and trying to play. That's unfortunate.
And then sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I really want to talk, but I gotta focus.
Yeah.
I'm here to do a job. And then they're like, oh, okay, I totally get it. I'll just stand here. And then they do. They remain like 3 feet away from me, like staring, sort of like waiting.
Right, waiting for you.
Waiting
I'll just
for the
wait till you're
conversation.
done and just stands there. Yeah.
Sometimes people yell to play Freebird, and
Yep.
I finally learned. So I learned a chord melody of that, so I can play an
Oh, good
instrumental
for you.
Freebird.
Yeah.
But then I have to like find it and stuff, and it's sort of like perpetuating the whole Freebird thing.
Yeah.
So now I learned Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh, there you
I'm
go.
Very excited to play that.
Nice.
So like I know Freebird.
Nice. That's better
There
than
you
my
go.
approach. I just pretend like I didn't hear them. I suddenly am deaf.
That's
I just don't even look in their direction.
that's
I
an
just
approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You could stop. I think right now, like it would be funny. I'm thinking of a joke that I've never said before. So
Yeah.
prepare yourself.
Okay. All right.
Let me know. Give me a 1 out of 10 on this. To say like if I play Freebird, it'll be because you asked me to, not because I wanted to, and then
Yeah.
I'm not like a Freebird so much as like a a perfunctory bird or
Yeah.
something.
A caged
like that.
bird.
Yeah.
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 It kind of ruins it when you request it.
It does. Yeah. Somebody's
Yeah.
just got to spontaneously burst into the
Right.
5-minute guitar solo.
Yeah. Maybe I should just bring like a parrot with me and just let it free, and that's
That would be the
Freebird.
moment when somebody shouts Freebird. Maybe a dove.
A
Actually.
dove. I just
Yeah.
turned into a magician.
I don't
and-
know why you went with parrot.
I don't know either. I don't know. It just seemed like very colorful and flamboyant. I don't know.
I could see it. Okay.
I don't know.
So booking people,
Yes,
how's that going?
that is great. It's going great. It's I have a business called Hummingbird Entertainment, and I work after many years of booking myself, and then my first job right out of college was as a booking agent. So I was booking other musicians. I kind of had the idea about a little less than a year ago, where I was like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if I was frustrated about something that either somebody was taking too long to respond, or just kind of the age-old things that musicians go through when it comes to the booking process. And I was like, wouldn't it just be so nice if like somebody did it and was just really on it and basically kind of knew what musicians went through and the struggle of it. And I was like, there's ding 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 the business idea of doing it from the venue angle and trying to approach venues about taking over their music booking, because a lot of times, as many musicians know who are listening to this, especially in an area like Hendersonville that is a smaller market, so it's not necessarily like Nashville or New York City where the music venues are big enough to actually hire somebody on staff who's going to take over their booking. A lot of times you're working with the venue managers, venue owners, sometimes a bartender that works there that just kind of got settled with the job. And they have a lot of other responsibilities, and music booking is like down here. So a lot of times that's
For
something
listeners, she put her hand near the floor.
yeah, it's way down, way down
this
here.
is
You can't even
available.
see it.
This is available as a podcast.
Oh,
I forgot to mention that up top.
So you've
There's
not been able to
always-
see all the hand motions and
Yeah, the way she let out the imaginary parrot was
the bet. Yeah,
enormous.
you'll have to go and watch it to see what that was like.
And while you're there, you can hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to get in. You have to get it in when you can.
I never thought I'd be that guy. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's okay. This is who I am. I'm all
Is it okay?
My
Good.
brain's all over
'Cause
the
I
place.
am that guy for sure.
no, yeah. music booking. I was on music booking. So a lot of times when you're doing music booking, you're dealing with somebody who that's not their main job. So things fall through the cracks. They don't, they don't respond quick enough. They don't, social media is not always, at top of mind. So they aren't always posting about your events. So a lot of the promotion falls on the musician. There's a myriad of things that musicians know and go through. So I kind of wanted to...
A panoply.
Yes. Great word. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And so I really wanted to come up, have a business where I could have the musician and the artist booking perspective and help venues out with their booking. So that's what Hummingbird Entertainment is. So I have a couple of venue clients that I work with in Hendersonville, the Second Act and Trailside Brewing Company, a new brewery in town, and I book all their music for them. With Second Act specifically, I help them with all of their music-related social media postings, and I deal with things like their last-minute cancellations. I find musicians to fill in spots. I really just kind of do a myriad of things all related to their music, all with the purpose...
A panoply.
Yes. Yes. And all with the purpose of hopefully making the experience better for the musicians and the venues.
This sounds really great. Yeah, because you're completely right. Booking agencies are hit and miss, I think, I think they're sort of inevitably frustrating from a musician's point of view, and so any little bit of professionalism that you can add to that area, I'm behind you. I encourage it. Yeah.
So
and it's great to come at that angle too, rather than representing a bunch of musicians and then waiting for inquiries to come in, because that can be a little bit more juggling. I think that's one of the frustrating things is a musician communicating with a booker who's communicating with a client who is taking time to make decisions, and so you think that the booking agent's taking a long time to get back to you, but really there's and then sometimes it's the client is an event planner that's also talking to their client, and it's this huge chain. But when it's just the venue who's already put you in charge of making the decision to book, then I guess, do you get to pull the trigger pretty quick, or do you have to okay it with come up with a list?
No, so I really try to, because I'm trying to, exactly what you're talking about, I'm trying to eliminate as many of those steps as I can. So a lot of the time I've communicated enough with the venue that I know, I have a budget that I'm working with. I know, what they're looking for on specific nights of the week. I really try to cater every single venue, make sure that every venue is, no venue is the same, is what I'm trying to say. So, I try to make decisions pretty quick with things, because that's one of my biggest frustrations is when I feel like I'm having to just consistently email, it takes a minimum of 3 emails to reach somebody and finally get a response. That's a frustrating thing as a musician. So, and unfortunately, that's why I've had a lot of musicians reach out to me about doing it from the booking agent end, which I quickly learned, actually being a booking agent right out of college, that it's so much harder from the musician end than it is the venue end, because I can pretty much guarantee that I'm going to be able to fill a venue's schedule every month.
Oh, totally.
Whereas I can't guarantee that to a musician, because there's way more musicians than there are venues.
Mm-hmm.
So especially now, it seems like there's just been a huge burst of musicians in the last 2 or 3 years here. So I just think,
so throw away your instruments.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Give it up. It's not good for the soul. It's not going to enrich your life in some meaningful way.
No, it doesn't help you connect more, or be more down to earth, or any
more
of
vulnerable
that.
or expressive, or in touch with
not
yourself.
A good outlet. No, none of those things.
It doesn't really teach you anything about discipline and other virtues like responsibility and preparedness.
No, I've just been spinning my wheels since getting into this. But yeah, Hummingbird Entertainment is kind of the newest thing that I've started out of, the playing and the radio station. So I'm really trying to grow that right now. So if you are listening and you're a venue and you're wanting help on spicing up your music or whatever, feel free to reach out to me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And get those big Jenga blocks.
Yes.
But also maybe quieter ones.
Yeah. Try to find ones that when they all fall, they make no noise.
Yeah.
So like maybe foam ones. Yeah.
So it might not be as slick as you need.
No. It's just like kind of squishy when you're trying to like pull it out. Yeah.
I did want to flex back to the radio spot now that we're warmed up and we're chatting more casually. And ask you what so give me some more hot tips about the radio interviews process, right?
Yeah.
I'm working on my interview game and
so
questions that I ask.
So am I. So yeah,
what are some go-to questions that you've got?
I try to really, I always think it's fun when people ask you questions, like the youthful question that you asked me, where I really like it when people ask me questions that have clearly done like a little bit of research or looking into it. So I try to, before interviews, go on somebody's website or social media and kind of find things that I've noticed on there and ask questions that sort of lead into that are more than just how long have you been playing? How long have you been, doing this? Tell me about your music that's coming up. Why'd you write the song? I try to get a little bit, I'm working on it. I definitely still ask those type of questions. But I love whenever I watch like interviews and people who do interviews. Like, do you watch Hot Ones on YouTube?
It's been a while.
If you haven't seen it, it's
basically
on YouTube. It's I'm obsessed with it, and then I got my family obsessed with it. But it's the show, this guy that has hot wings in front of him and the person that he's interviewing, and they progressively get more and more spicy. And he asks questions between each wing, but he is an excellent interviewer. Like, he really does his research. I mean, the show concept itself is kind of funny, and it doesn't really make sense until you see it. But obviously, by the end, he usually looks fine, but the person who he's interviewing is always a mess at that point, and you can pretty much get them to open up about anything. But I really love how he does an excellent job of kind of asking the deep questions that nobody asks, that you don't hear on whatever Jimmy Kimmel or one of the big ones,
Yeah, definitely.
So I try to do a little bit of research, and thankfully, I mean,
you don't want to go too deep though.
But you don't know, well, right? Yes.
I found that people can recoil. I came in pretty hot in some earlier episodes.
Oh yeah, and then
what are your deep, philosophical beliefs about? Is art even worth it?
Right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. There's a fine line with it.
There's about what's the most personal question that you'd be okay being asked?
Oh man, I don't. Well, because if I say it, then I'll have to answer it. I don't know. I think I'm fairly an open book. Mm-hmm. I just have to always remember that like family's watching, so it can't be anything too weird. But
yeah,
I'm pretty. No, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
favorite dinosaur.
Favorite dinosaur? Pterodactyl.
Okay, because of the sound.
Yeah. I make that noise often, just around that's what my family jokes about, because that's kind of my go-to, like if something's not going right, it's just
okay,
that's what happens.
White bread or whole wheat?
If I'm being good, it's whole wheat, but if I'm not, it's white. I mean, that's my preference. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, sourdough is probably the answer to that question.
Yeah, that's a good go-to. I found a great bread recently. It's called...
Yes, please tell me.
Power Seed.
Oh, okay.
And it's got no added sugar, and they sweeten it with fruit juice. It's like really good. It's like Dave's Killer Bread.
Okay, awesome.
Brand, but Power Seed is the way to go, people.
I'm gonna write that down on my phone after we get this and get off this. Yeah.
What are some other questions? I used to ask people like, what is I guess I still do. Okay. It's coming back. I was trying to accumulate questions, but then I didn't want to be sort of the same.
Yeah, like a one-trick pony. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because these are sort of, these, again, are supposed to be like a fun thing for me in my audience. But this is not a very fun question. So
okay, that's all right.
So what is like a problem that you've encountered and a solution to that problem? So like a little teaching moment.
Yeah.
If you have any wisdom to glean, or
I have
that we
none.
will glean.
I have
Oh, no wisdom.
No.
Okay.
I actually never have problems, so I don't ever have to.
Wow, I'm pretty jealous.
No,
You made me
no.
crack my knuckles
Yeah.
immediately. Oh. I wish
Um,
I had no problems.
yeah. I mean, I for sure over the last, I think probably like most people since COVID, this is kind of a big philosophical one. And I wouldn't say I've necessarily have the solution for it, but like most people in COVID really struggled with anxiety and struggled with more than I ever had before. And I think I learned a lot of just kind of great coping mechanisms with that through therapy and, kind of just I think that's kind of the reason why I'm talking about it is because I feel like I'm struggling with it more lately and I go through like different phases with it. But I'm trying to think of one that's a little lighter than anxiety. I don't know.
Yeah, but the solution was therapy.
Solution was therapy.
Therapy, everybody should go to therapy.
Everybody should go to therapy.
Yeah, agreed.
That's a big solution. Breathing more, drinking more water.
Love my therapist.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Yeah. I stopped doing
good.
it after college, but I need to go back to it. But
That's
a big solution.
I forget what the breath is called, but you breathe all the way in and then you breathe in a little bit more.
Yeah, and then you hold it,
out.
and then you let it out. Yeah, yeah. I do that one a lot. A lot of times when I'm driving, I do that because driving makes me anxious a lot of the times. So that's a big one that I do.
Driving makes me. I never really got angry for like years and years, but now I've found myself getting like way more angry and irritable.
Asheville at about 3:30 p.m. when school is in it makes you angry around here.
Definitely. And then another question that I go to often is like, how do you like identify through music? Like you find yourself to be a musician first and foremost, and do you think like I've learned or discovered about myself and through so many conversations with other musicians that it's sort of like something that I am compelled to do in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like after practicing for so long, my brain needs it, and if I don't practice, I get like moody or very depressed or something. Do you feel like, and just today I was listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast, who I love, and he was interviewing somebody talking about identity, and they were talking about being a violin player and like ergonomically, like their whole identity sort of formed around the violin, both like physically because one of her shoulders is now like up, and more metaphorically or like spiritually.
Yeah I think for a long time I actually wrapped my identity up in music, which I think is something that you have to be careful about as a musician. A lot of musicians do it, where if somebody doesn't like a song that you played or doesn't respond well to your music, it's easy to take that personally. Whereas I've had to really kind of remind myself that I, Izzi Hughes, am not my music. Like that is, I feel like I am, because as musicians, you feel like that is part of you. But I really, for a long time, had to kind of learn that for me, the way that that music for me is an outlet. Speaking of anxiety, that is something that I use most often when I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and just like life's getting to be too much. Music has always been. Some people it's coloring. You gotta kind of just have to find your outlet. But that for me has always been the outlet for me. So I think my biggest thing, I don't consider myself a songwriter. I don't write much, really. I just haven't really ever gotten the bug for it or the love for it. What I do love to do is put my own twists on covers. And I'm kind of known for that. I'm known for covering songs that are well known, but not necessarily covered a lot. So I love those moments when an audience member is like, oh my gosh, I forgot how much I love this song, or I haven't heard this song in years. And I love her take on it. So that's really where I try to put my identity into the music. But I struggle a lot with anytime that's anything negative happens with music. I have a hard time with the fact that I take it personally, and it feels like, oh, they don't like me.
So it's
kind of
really
keeping that separation. keeping a healthy separation with it in times like that, while also being proud of it and knowing that it is a massive part of who I am. And I think a lot of musicians feel that way.
Yeah, agree. That's something that is dangerous and something worthy of being mindful of. That's
Yeah.
funny, just on that same Andrew Huberman podcast. Now this is just going to become a show
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm quoting other podcasts, but he quotes people constantly, so now I'm going to repay the favor, I guess.
Absolutely. Yes.
He had an episode on gratitude and talked about that. Yes, like there are studies that show like gratitude practice is healthy for a person,
Yeah.
but you actually get more of a boost when you receive gratitude from other people, and you have to be able to like let that in and like meditate on it. And
Right.
I'm really bad about just being modest and like
Yeah.
they're just being nice or whatever.
I do that too, where I have a hard time accepting. I've tried to like actually get better with it, but I'm the same way where I'll a lot of times I'll say thank you, but then it's in my head I'm like, that's just exactly what you said. That's just they're just saying that. It doesn't always sink in.
Yeah, but it's
that might
important
be
to
the
have that
truth.
moment, and then also to downplay, like you're saying, like taking the other part too personally, or like I beat myself up because
Right.
I think as a musician, there's like a growth mindset, and
Yeah.
it's asymptotic. I love that word.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Where like the line, it approaches the line, but you're
Yeah.
never gonna be perfect,
Yeah.
no
I
matter
think
how
it's
many zillions of times you play that song.
yes. And I think it's that whole thing of if you have a 9 to 5 job, you literally get to leave that job at the door, and that's not there's more than just musicians that have that kind of problem, but as a musician you never can leave it at the door. Like that is being a musician for a lot of people. It's their day in day out, especially if you choose to pursue it professionally.
Yeah, you
So-
gotta sing to your cat and like
Right.
sing about chopping the vegetables that you're
Right.
chopping, and
Absolutely. It's an all the time thing. I hear it sing in my sleep a lot of time, or I'm like get songs stuck in my head in my sleep. Like it
Whoa.
never leaves.
Do you dream about singing ever?
Not about singing. So, well, I have a very specific anxiety dream where it has to do with being in, because I did acting for a little while, and where I am on a stage and it's the opening night of a play that I don't know the lines to, and I'm the lead in it, and I've never been to a rehearsal and I don't know any of the lines, but like it's opening night and everybody's like running around you getting ready. I'm like, what play is this? I don't even know. I don't know the lines. I don't know. And everyone's like, no, you'll be great. And it's just like, those are the dreams I get a lot. But sometimes I'll get dreams where I get songs stuck in my head and I wake up with that song still stuck in my head. It's really
Interesting. And then
unfortunate.
in the dream, you're like, it's unfortunate because they're not good songs.
Well, because it's like when you get a song stuck in your head, it's like annoying where you're like, I just want to go to sleep, like, so it's kind of like when you're just like, you would rather just be in a deep sleep than kind of this weird twilight. When you have like a night and you just don't sleep really well because you've just had dreams a lot of the night and it doesn't feel like you've had a restful sleep. That is kind of annoying in that sense.
I think I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't want to have Backstreet Boys pop into my brain right before.
Not
'cause
when you're
it's
trying
so
to go to
catchy.
bed.
Yeah.
No.
One of my students just requested Backstreet Boys, and he's 9, and I saw the Backstreet Boys when I was 9, and it was
That's
like
amazing.
totally full circle. I was like,
That's
oh, they're still
amazing.
relevant. I'm still relevant.
Yes, it's not like
Yeah.
my Taylor Swift moment
It was-
with
yeah.
the little girl who
Not
didn't
to rub
know.
it in.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's so great.
We are coming up on the hour.
Okay.
We started a little late, but do you have any other dangling threads, thoughts? Did we cover everything about you?
No, I think so. We got
No, that
music,
can't be true.
Hummingbird, and the radio show, and those are the big 3 things in my life right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's good. And are there you said you have no wisdom, but I feel like I can still mine you for a couple other pieces of wisdom.
For radio wisdom.
Yeah, did anything come up with any of the artists on your show recently that's worth sharing, or like have you
I think
made
for
a
one,
major
I'm really
discovery
impressed that
recently?
you do this by yourself, because I have a co-host with me on my show, and that helps. Although I guess you kind of always have somebody who you're able to bounce stuff off of. I think that was a huge thing. Thankfully, Steve and I got along right away. We met each other the first day that we both started working at the station. It was just kind of like, here's your show.
This is great, but it
So-
also sort of feels like you're hinting like I need a co-host.
No,
Like,
no,
I'm
no,
not doing
no,
it.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. I just think and I'm just really, I'm glad that him and I, where I'm going with this is that we really, at first it was kind of just getting our groove and trying to, you know, talk with one another, and we found very quickly, we were like, an hour-long show, we can fill this up with stuff. And the first thing that we recorded together, I was like, all right, that's great, that was probably about 7 minutes, and it was like 20 seconds. I was like, this is going to take a
Yikes.
long time for us to, but we really got into the groove. And I don't know, I'm trying to think of more wisdom things to tell you, but practice makes perfect, I guess. I mean, we're still trying to figure it out, to be honest with you. I mean, we've been doing this for 6 months, but we're right there trying to figure it out. And Andrew Thelston, actually, there was a few people before, I think there was one person between us, but Andrew Thelston used to host the show that we host now on
okay.
WTCQ.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's why he's so good at talking.
yes. Yeah.
He's
There you
very-
go. Very
about
eloquent.
eloquent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm clearly still trying to work on being a little bit more eloquent and clear and
That's
straightforward
actually-
in my stories.
Yeah, that's one reason I wanted to do this, was to make myself talk
Yeah.
and get out in front of people and, you know,
Yeah.
put myself in a leadership role.
I have found, I actually have, for a long time, I've really not liked public speaking. It's actually been, I wouldn't go as far as saying a fear of mine, but I really, like, doing public speak, like in school and in college and stuff, I really didn't like,
Terrifying. Yeah.
didn't like it, especially if there was any sort of improvisational element to it. Like if I was just reading something, I was usually pretty okay. But I really didn't like presentations, which would always make my friends laugh, because they're like, you can get up and sing songs and be totally comfortable and fine. But when it comes to the talking part of it, you're not. And I will say, being on the radio show, I have found, because I've had a couple times now that I've had to get up and just talk in front of people, that it has made me a whole lot more comfortable in that. So I'm very grateful for that part of it, at least.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is, don't forget that people are always listening. I a lot of times will have people come up to me in shows and mention something very specific that I have said on the radio show. And sometimes it's like, oh yeah, there's people actually listen to, like, people are actually out there listening to
Well, that
you
must be
on
nice.
the,
I don't
it
know
is,
how
it's
that
nice.
feels.
Listen, if you and I run into each other at the store, I'll say something very specific so that you can feel it.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It's there. Like one time we had this really sweet, we have some of the best listeners on WTZQ. There was this, I had mentioned, we were doing like a live ad for, I can't even remember who, but we were reading off seafood specials, and I don't really like seafood, and I made some comment about how I really love crab dip though, so I was gonna try the crab dip. Totally like I didn't think anything of it. We moved on, and 2 days later, one of our listeners brought a giant thing of crab dip to the station for us to share, and it's just so cool when things like that
That's
happen.
nice. And you ate it?
Yeah,
This mystery crab dip?
I did.
You are a brave
well,
soul.
she's apparently, this was the first time that I had met her. She was a very sweet older woman, and she knew the owners.
Okay. All right.
So there was
just a
it wasn't just some
random-
random no, and it was very sweet. So it is really cool, and it's cool working at WTCQ because it is a oldies station. We're starting to kind of add in more current songs here and there that won't make, people want to immediately, turn it off. So we're trying to bring it up to the next, slowly but surely, kind of bring more relevant songs or recent songs into it. But it is just a very community focused radio station, and it's just really cool being able to connect with people in the community that I've lived in my entire life and weren't able to really have a connection with before. And it's been really cool working with them. And I think that's been probably one of my favorite things about working there, is meeting listeners and people who listen to it day in, day out. And I know, like you talked about podcasts, I'm a huge podcast listener too. And a lot of times, because I live alone especially, I have podcasts on all the time, and I feel like I know the hosts of the shows that I really listen to all the time. And it's just so interesting when you are that person for somebody else, or you're that station for somebody else that they just keep on all the time, and they come in and they feel like they already know you. And that's a really cool feeling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we are social creatures.
Yeah.
By nature. So to be part of like that network and to find a place, I mean, that's part of identifying,
Yeah.
right, as a person too.
Right.
Where do I belong?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's great that you found it, and
Yeah.
you belong here right now.
Yes.
We're gonna stick around. We're gonna take a little break. I hope you guys stick around. If you're watching on Instagram, you gotta tune into YouTube to watch the jam.
Yes.
This is where I reset, even though it's not radio. Like, who's still watching this? And like, But I'm Sam Irvin, and you are Izzi Hughes.
Yes.
And this is Asheville 8 Note. And what else do I need to set up about our jam? We're gonna play music.
Stick around. It's gonna be great.
Hang out. Did we cover everything?
I think so.
I asked that already.
Yeah.
I always want to make triple sure. Okay, so now I know how to cut to black over here, but then I don't know how to mute it. So just a heads up on that. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Perfect. Alrighty. Maybe do a Beatles cover here.
You do gotta work on that.
I know, I do. I do.
I'm teasing.
No. It's true. I'm sitting here thinking about this chord. Okay, here we go. I'll buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I'll get you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. 'Cause I don't care too much money, 'cause money can't buy me love. Buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I'll get you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. 'Cause I don't care too much money, 'cause money can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. Love can't buy me love. Say you don't need no diamond rings, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of things that money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much money, 'cause money can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so. Love, no. Say you don't need no diamond rings, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of things that money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much money, 'cause money can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. Everybody tells me so. Love. satisfied. Tell me you want the kind of things that money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much money, 'cause I don't care too much for money, 'cause I don't care too much money, 'cause money can't buy me love.
All right, wonderful.
Nice. I'm not hearing myself too much in these headphones.
Oh, you want some more?
Yes, please.
Let's sort that out. I still need to tune my guitar too.
Nah.
Nah, you don't think so? I do it because I care, you know?
No, I get it. I would sometimes have, when I would go in the studio, I would love whenever, I've had this happen a couple times, when the passive-aggressive audio engineer comes on and is like, maybe we should all tune our guitars. And it's like they always try to kind of think of a way to say it. And you're like, okay, fine. I'm out of tune. I got it.
We're always a little bit out of tune.
Right.
Oh, maybe I should talk into this. We're always a little bit out of tune, you know?
Right.
It's asymptotic.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's a word. I don't think I've ever looked it up.
We'll go with it.
Like an asymptote.
We'll go with it.
All right, so now I'm gonna noodle over your perfectly lovely songs and
Yes.
make them a little less perfect, but a little more quirky, goofy with character.
Character is always wanted and accepted and needed.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of what would be a good one to kind of kick this off. What about Jolene? That's kind of a nice...
Sure, sort of a sad one.
Yeah.
Are you hearing yourself enough?
Check. Yep. Alrighty. I do this in A minor.
Okay, great.
Sounds great. Great noodling.
Oh, thanks.
The spring, skin is soft like summer rain, and I can be with you, Jolene. And you could have your choice of men, but I can never love again, 'cause he's the only one for me, Jolene. And he talks about you in his sleep. There's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. have your choice of men, but I can never love again. He's the only one for me, Jolene. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take me back. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. Oh, please don't take him even though you can. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sound good.
But Jolene took the man, right?
Yeah.
Jolene definitely got him.
Yeah, she did. I had a friend in college, and she's actually, I can't remember where I know she's from North Carolina, but I can't remember where from. But she did and friend is a little bit, we connected at like freshman year at like one of those kumbaya activities that they make you do when you're a freshman.
That counts as friend.
Yes.
You're on friendly terms.
She made a version of Jolene where she sang it from the point of view of Jolene. So it was Dolly, 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 and like did an entire song from that, and it actually went viral on TikTok. She got an insane amount of views on it. But yeah, she wrote the song from the opposite, like Jolene responding to Dolly. That was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's very an original vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
She went viral? Then definitely she's a friend.
Yes.
She's
Right. That's why I started that off saying that she was a friend. I was like, no, I just said that because she was successful at this thing. Let's see, maybe you'll find with me that I tend to do, a lot of people are like, will you do weddings? And I'm much more fit for divorce parties based on my song list.
Songs,
Yeah, there's not, I don't have many love songs or happy songs in my set list. Here's one that kind of, do you know Jim Blossom's? Oops, sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is way too loud. Now I've got the sultry radio voice.
Yeah.
This is too much. I don't think I need that. I think I think I do need to bump you more. Okay. Yeah, I think about that whenever I'm choosing a tune now. Like it's got to be a happy tune.
Right. If you're doing weddings, especially, it's you gotta think of the happy songs. Because I one time was playing with Eric Congdon, a guitar player in town, and he and I we were at some vineyard, and it was Point Lookout, and you can rent out half of Point Lookout or like part of Point Lookout for a wedding, but if you don't rent out the whole thing, the other half of it is still like people coming there for their tastings or whatever. I don't know if that's still the case, but it was the case whenever we did this, and somebody rented it half of it full, and they asked us to play their first dance song, and we were like going through our set list trying to find any song that would work for a first date. So it was a very chill couple. Just they didn't care at all. They just wanted a song. But we were like, what could we play? We have no love songs.
What did you land on?
The one love song that we had, which was "If I Ain't Got You" by Alicia Keys. So
okay,
that was the one.
That's good.
The one that we had that we ended up doing. But yeah, what about Jim Blossom's "Found Out About You"? It's not a happy song, but it sounds happier.
Okay, sure.
It's a little more upbeat.
I'll play a major scale on
There
it.
we go. I came with this on 4.
Okay.
thinking of the places you hang out. They know your name, they know what you're about. Wishes on the bus stop, full of hellbound nights out the schoolyard. I found out about you. I found out about you. Streetlights blink under the corridor, and the time too often on AM radio. Well, you know it's all I think about. I read your name, drive past your house. Your girlfriend's over, watch the lights go out. Wishes on the bus stop, full of hellbound nights out the schoolyard. I found out about you. I found out about you. Wishes on the bus stop, full of hellbound nights out the schoolyard. I found out about you. I found out about you. I found out about you. Wishes on the bus stop, full of hellbound nights out the schoolyard. I found out about you. I found out about you. I found out about you. Nice. Nice.
That's a nice one, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That one, my dad, he for about 2 years lived in San Francisco, and he saw Jim Blossoms before they made it big. He just saw them like at a club somewhere, and he was like, I think those guys are gonna be big one day.
They got something.
They got something. How about, so one of the things that people kind of know me for are my kind of unexpected covers, and one of those is
Like Here Comes Santa Claus and
oh yeah,
August.
right. Here Comes Santa Claus in August. Exactly. That's where we're going with this. I do a couple Metallica songs.
Okay, sick.
Which is one of the things. So this is one of my favorites that I do. I do a version of Nothing Else Matters. I also do Enter Sandman, but that might be a bit much for me tonight vocally. Gotta wait until later. So I'm a little more warmed up for Enter Sandman.
Okay, I'll circle back.
All right. Okay, sounds good. Hold on. I gotta fix that 'cause that's gonna.
Let's tune. It's the lights, I think.
Yeah.
We tune because we care,
Right. That was gonna.
but you're never really in tune. That's what was wrong with Timothy Leary's whole thing.
Alright. Try to get that a little. Better.
Oh, I don't know the song. This would be the moment for me to really know this one and whip it out.
Oh, do you not want to do this one? We can do a different one. Ah, yes.
really
Yes.
don't know it.
Alrighty. Do you want to do this one or you want to do a different one? Just go for it, or
Let's go. Yeah, I want to see what you're gonna
All
do
right.
with it. Yeah.
so close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting the way out, and nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek, and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never care for what they do. I never care for what they know. But I know. So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. I never care for what they do. I never care for what they know. But I know. Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek, and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Oh, mine for a different view, and nothing else matters. I never care for what they say. I never care for games they play. I never care for what they do. I never care for what they know. But I know. Oh,
Love it.
Yeah, I love that. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Metallica. That's one that everybody knows, but that doesn't get covered very often.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly like you're
that's what
talking
I
about.
try to do is just I try to find those gems because I feel like sometimes people, and I do this too, I'm guilty of it as well, but sometimes as a cover artist you can kind of get stuck in that thing of if you really love an artist you can sometimes pick their most obscure songs and then kind of want everybody to love it as much as you do, and sometimes a lot of times that's rarely the case, so people will get excited because you say you're gonna play a Taylor Swift song and then you play one that nobody's ever heard of. So I try to strike a balance because at the same time you'll probably never hear me cover Wagon Wheel either, so I try to do ones that strike
That's
a
good.
happy
Thank you
medium.
for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So I try to strike a happy balance with it of songs that people know and love, because it truly is the best feeling when someone's like, I never hear anybody play this song and I love this song. So that's what I try to get.
Mm-hmm.
But I also do the ones that everybody wants to hear, just not Wagon Wheel.
Why do people want Wagon Wheel?
I don't
get
know.
it.
I get that one. I get it requested a lot too. I don't know. I have a lot of Christmas songs on here.
Let's play a Christmas song.
It's not Christmas. It's Christmas in August. We just missed the cut for Christmas in July.
Yes, right.
I know.
Shucks.
I don't know. I keep going for the like slow songs, and I should trying to maybe get some more upbeat.
There's Toxic.
Upbeat
We got
tunes.
Under the Bridge.
We do have Toxic. Yep.
Now.
That's another one that most people, because I do a version of it that's very
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should go running. It's dangerous, I'm falling. There's no escape, I can't wait. I need a hit, baby, give me it. You're dangerous, I'm begging it. Too high, can't come down. loving now. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready now. Intoxicate me now. With the loving now. I think I'm ready. Oh, I think I'm ready now. Intoxicate me now. With the loving now. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready now. Taste of your lips, I'm alright. Your toxic, I'm slipping under. Taste of your voice, I'm paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do, don't you know you're toxic? Beautiful.
Sick. Yeah. That was good. Now we're getting closer to my style.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. If only I had known that Britney Spears was the way to go.
Did she get freed?
Yes.
Is she free now?
She is free
That's
now.
great.
Yeah.
Rejoice.
I know. I think, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm fairly certain my mom and sister were telling me, because there's a documentary on one of the streaming services, I'm fairly certain she's like now trying to get to court to like get retribution. It's not the right-
Revenge.
Revenge. I was supposed to say like retribution, but that's not the right. Whatever the legal term for revenge is, that's what she's doing.
Compensate.
Compensate,
I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
I think it's an R word. It's just not. I'm not thinking of the right R word. Like she's trying to get money, her money back. I don't know. But she's making strides. She's
Good.
She's
Good for her.
she's doing well. Yeah. How many more songs do you think we have time for?
It's whatever you are feeling willing to do. A little past 10. A couple more.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in my
You're free, too.
element now.
We're free birds at the moment.
Just pull my parrot out. What about Country Roads is one of the first songs I ever learned how to play and sing, and I recently brought it back because I hadn't played it in a long time, and it's kind of one of my favorites that I'm doing right now in a nostalgic way.
Okay. This one is good too.
Yeah.
But it
This one's good too.
this one's good too. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is older, older
Awesome. I'm trying to think what I have that's like toxic. Get back to our.
That was a good song. I do love the song Country Roads, but for some reason it's like I used to always get I guess I could talk into the mic somewhat. I used to always oh, it's too much. No, it's too hot. I used to confuse, I'm not going to be able to remember either of their names right now.
Mhm.
Springsteen
Oh.
and
John Denver? Or are you
no,
trying to, okay.
some other singer-songwriter who's
I could just start listing.
yeah, let's
Bob
give
Dylan.
me no,
Paul McCartney.
sort of colder. Yeah. It's not worth it. We'll never get there. But this I put in the same category as Wagon Wheel, but I shouldn't because they're a little.
Yeah.
They're disparate.
This is definitely this does not fall in the category of nobody ever covers this song. This is definitely one that
Well, that's true.
everybody covers.
Yeah.
This one, and we all have those sentimental ones. This was definitely my sentimental song just because I learned it first on guitar. That was the first one I learned to sing and play at the same time.
Yeah. What?
I also there's a song that Chris Stapleton does. It's actually is one of his more obscure songs. It's not one of his most popular ones. It's called Nashville, Tennessee. And I, for a while, would cover Nashville, Tennessee, and it gave every feeling that I had about Nashville when I left. He just talks about how it's not what it used to be, and it's just a beautiful song that he wrote about it. So I would oftentimes go into Country Roads after that one. I would sing that song and then go into Country Roads and do like a chorus of it. And my mom was like, "You should just bring that song back. You love it so much." So now I play both of them, play the full songs. But
The Country Roads. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it too. I got like the whole chord progression.
yeah.
Usually it's better than that, but I'm trying to rush through it. So let's move on to the next thing. But
That's what I started. I didn't think we were going to go through the whole song of Toxic, and then I was like, all right, here we are, because I started it out kind of faster than I normally do, because I was like, we're just going to show it, then we got in such a great groove with it.
that one resonated with me. I liked it.
Yes.
Stapleton, I had to sing Stapleton for a proposal one time.
Oh, yeah,
It was
which
real
song?
weird because I had to give my country a little bit more than I usually do. But it's inside me. I just bury it.
What song was it? Tennessee Whiskey?
It was hear it. I got it. It was, how do you spell Stapleton?
There you go. Yeah.
Staple. Oh. You know what? I deleted it, I guess.
So much trauma with it. You were just like, I can't. It needs to get out of here.
He's a Rolling Stone.
Oh, yes. I'm not gonna be able to think of the name, but I think
The music
I know.
video has his wife in it.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen Stefani.
No, that's
Is that not Gwen Stefani?
No,
I'm
you're
getting
thinking
mixed
of
up.
Blake Shelton.
I am thinking of Blake Shelton. Okay, so once again, mixing
That's
up.
why you don't have Stapleton in there. It's
That's
probably,
right.
Was it a Blake Shelton?
It is,
song? Yeah.
yes. Are they similar or are they very different?
They're both country. I would say Chris Stapleton is more. He's kind of bringing old country back. I love his writing. It's more than just kind of what country music to me can be very, like a lot of people very just like about trucks and women and beer.
Yes.
Whereas Stapleton gets away from that. He writes more. He's got this beautiful song about his dog. It's Molly's song, I think, or something. And my calendar reminders are very aggressive tonight. And it's
forget.
just, I know. Don't forget to put my phone on vibrate. Yeah, he's just a spectacular writer. And I don't really consider myself a huge country music listener, but I love Stapleton's writing. It's gorgeous. What you can
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check him out because
Do
I
it.
haven't the way
Do
that I
it.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
Listen to some of his. I mean, Tennessee Whiskey is a beautiful song, and that's like the most popular one by him. But some of his, like on his newest album, I don't know, some of his not as well known songs, the writing of it's gorgeous. The one about his dog, if you just look up, I can't remember the name of it, but if you look up Chris Stapleton's song about his dog, it'll make you cry if you're a dog person. It's gorgeous.
Do you have a dog?
I do not. I had a dog growing up, but I would love a dog. I'm not home enough. I would feel bad. I also live in a fairly small apartment, so it would just be cooped up in the apartment. Maybe if I got like a wiener dog or something that was like cool with being like late, like just was cool around the house, but there's still the me not being home enough part. Mm-hmm. That's a problem. Okay, I think I've thought of a song that's kind of in the same vein of Sweet Dreams.
There's a lot of great stuff in here. I mean,
Yeah?
I just wanted to start calling out stuff. Yeah.
You should have.
Sweet Dreams is great.
Yeah.
But I don't... That I used to know it, the Marilyn Manson version.
Yeah. Yes. Mine is I don't know. It's kind of in the same vein of Toxic, but sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. 3, 4. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Yeah. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Hold your head up, moving on. Moving on, keep your head up, moving on. Moving on, hold your head up, moving on. Moving on, keep your head up. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Ooh. Nice.
That's a special song.
Yeah,
Everybody is looking for something.
it is. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Truth.
Yep.
Truth and
And
storytelling.
usually everyone's looking for that song, because that song people get really into.
Totally.
Everyone knows that song.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. It is more, the way you're playing, it's more like the original than the Marilyn Manson version.
Yeah.
For sure. Because
Yeah.
the original is sort of upbeat and like has that,
Yeah.
that drum machine.
If I could figure out a way to just have that going in the background, it'd be great.
That's one you'd be okay with being stuck in your head late at night.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
In a
I
dream.
don't know.
No.
It'd be a dance party, that's for sure. That song. Yeah.
It will keep you up.
Yeah.
It's sort of spooky too.
It is a
like
little spooky.
Nightmare fuel, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe
Especially-
I'm taking it back. Maybe I wouldn't like it.
I don't know if I should mention that Marilyn Manson's like canceled now, or I think
Oh.
so. I shouldn't have
Is
brought
he?
him up. I feel bad. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it's controversial.
Yeah. Hopefully he won't
Yeah.
watch this.
I'm sorry, Marilyn Manson, if I called you out.
Well, are we about at the end here? And the reason why I ask is because I always end with the same song. That's kind of, I try to always switch
okay.
up, but I always end with Valerie. That's the song that I always end with. No really rhyme or reason other than for a while people were just really getting into it, and it's the song, it's the one that everyone knows. Every once in a while I'll switch it up and it won't be my last song, and I inevitably have somebody come up who hears me all the time who's like, I thought you were done. I thought you were ending, so I can't now. Valerie has to be my last song.
Okay,
Every show.
just to
So-
let everybody know,
Yeah.
like,
that
I am done. Don't ask
we're
me for
done.
any more. I'm
We're
exhausted.
done. We're done.
Okay, well then, yeah, we can be done with Valerie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
Does it have nothing to do with that it's at the bottom of the list because it starts with V?
Well, I mean, that could be part of it too, but no. Alright.
Sometimes I go out myself
awesome.
Nice. This whole experience was nice.
This was amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. This is awesome.
Of course, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
It served its purpose tonight. I made a new friend.
Yes.
And we played some music for fun.
Yep.
It was great.
Yep.
We
Check.
recorded it successfully.
Check.
Question mark. I'm pretty sure we got it. And I certainly wouldn't have this project going on without so many great guests to learn from, to live with. You know, it's nice to, get to know the other musicians who are making it work out here in WNC.
Yeah, absolutely. It is always inspiring to know that you are not alone in this kind of crazy music community that we've kind of built in this state. So, yeah.
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 Well, but now let's end the show.
All right.
And we will go back to being alone briefly before we
yes.
reconnect
Yes.
with other people tomorrow. So thank you for watching, anybody who's watching. And tune in next week when I'll have somebody else on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I forget who is next week. But I'm sure they're great.